Why is this exercise the best glute exercise? Now, best is a pretty big word. YouTube loves those sorts of things. By best, I'm looking at something that improves your range, makes you strong, but most importantly, crosses over into real life. Now, let me show you on Boner. I was going to say, let me show you my Boner, but that would be another different video, but maybe I might get even more views if I did that one, but that's probably a different platform anyway. This is Boner. We're going to show you why this is the best glute exercise. Now, most exercises that people are doing in terms of their glutes are moving in one line. And that's great. This is a makeshift muscle here. That's great for your glute in this direction. So when I come here, let's imagine this covers my whole glute. That's going to load my glute in one direction. But a couple of things to note. Muscles respond to 3 planes of motion, and there's more than one muscle here in terms of our glute region, external rotators, etc. So I want to load front to back, and I want some rotation in the joint. Poor old Boner here, he's had a pretty tough run, so he doesn't move real well, like probably some of you watching. So we want some rotation here, internal rotation at the hip, and we want some sideways loading too. I did intend to do that with a flexed hip, but his hip doesn't flex. And just to note, a flexed hip does actually change the bias of some of these muscles, but that is a different video. So essentially, we're looking at something that loads us in a straight line. We're looking at something that involves some rotation, and we're looking at some movement across us here. 3 ways that we can move. The movement across, interestingly, also just brings a lot of tissue along for the ride as well. And so the reason we're looking at loading in 3 planes and getting this length, this is an eccentric contraction. So a muscle that is loaded eccentrically essentially is stretching. And a muscle that is on stretch wants to return. So one of the best places for us to get a muscle to fire, and this is particularly interesting when it comes to glutes, because so many people come to see me and go, so-and-so told me my glutes don't fire. This is a great way to force them to, because once we put them in that stretch position, they want to return, and we can start to teach our brain, this is how this muscle works. So let me show you how to do the exercise.
To do the exercise, you want something you can grab onto to support yourself. That can be a doorway. I like teaching it here, lower down, because that allows me to hinge at my hip a little bit more. So I'm holding on to something and stepping back with the idea that if I was to let go, I'm going to fall backwards. So this is both increasing the range of motion through my hip here. My glute is having to stretch, and you might feel that when you come into this as well. And this falling back is causing me to have to use that muscle to catch myself in this space. So I'm supporting myself here with the whatever you're hanging on to, and then I want to rotate the opposite hip towards the foot. That looks like this. So by doing so, I'm internally rotating this hip, and internal rotation is a big thing online. People talk about ways to improve it in ways that don't have any crossover into real movement. This is a way that does. We're internally rotating this hip in a very useful position. So I'm rotating this hip down. Then I'm going to push. If I'm doing my right one, I'm pushing across to you a bit, leaning back, rotating down. Now, some important things to note here. We also want to push the big toe of the same side of foot down to increase that neural connection between our big toe and our glute. This is an important connection. It's one of the glute's jobs to slow down pronation. So we want to train this big toe and glute relationship. And you might find that when you push that toe down, you do get more contraction through the glute. Few ways you can use it. One is just dropping back in, push the toe down, hold until you fatigue. Another is coming in and out of it, noting, does my glute catch me here, or do I feel it more in my hamstrings and quads? Or another is to elicit fatigue. And here I'm going to do little rotation and pulses here until I start to feel that burn through the hip. So there you go. I think that is one of the best glute exercises. We're in a position where we cross over neurally. We're getting the muscle to fire in 3 planes of motion, and we're forcing it to load as a result of an eccentric contraction. The stretch yourself strong system is to be a phase 3 strategy. Now, some of you might have noticed glutes didn't fire that well. I've got a little glute test that you can do. Comment glute below and I'll send that to you. If you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, see you in the next one.